What's going on, guys? Seth here with Seth Francis Sim Racing, and we are back in Gran Turismo Sport. Yes, as I was saying, we are back in Gran Turismo Sport here at Brands Hatch Indy Circuit, which is the short version of Brands Hatch. And looks like I'm going to be starting out in 14th position. At the last screen, they actually had me up in 5th. But on this screen, seems to have moved me back, so that's alright. Today, I decided for the first GR4 race to use the Nissan GT-R, which typically I don't run this car. This is the most popular car for this class, but typically I would run the Hyundai Genesis just because, you know, personally that's the car that I like better. But I figured, why not try out the GT-R again? I used to use this car a couple weeks ago, or a week or two ago. I used to use it pretty often. These are my settings. I'm actually gonna shorten that just a tiny bit more. I think these can stay as they are. We'll go ahead and bring that down a bit. I think that'll be good. Got about 15 seconds or so before we're gridded up and ready to start. Alright. We are gridded up. Starting out in 14th position with a 51.495 qualifying time. Somehow people with slower times are up in the front, but it seems like it mixes up the grid position kind of a bit at random. I love the way this car grips off the line though. The all-wheel drive, and with the power it just grips so well. Like, I don't know how I went from 14th up to 3rd and now 2nd in a matter of, you know, 2 turns. Getting bumped from behind, that actually assisted me a little bit. Thank you, whoever that was. I had slowed down too much, so that bump helped me. I'm sure he wasn't intending it that way, but it did. Turn, turn, turn. Don't go off in the dirt too much. There we go. Hung it in there. So, it looks like all of a sudden I'm in 2nd place. Much thanks to... Oh, I'm about to go off the track though, aren't I? A little bit, yep. Well, so much for that, but... yeah, these cars do... The all-wheel drive system, they grip so well off the line that if you get a good start, I mean, it can really help. Alright, I'm hoping in the next however many laps I can at least make up 1 or 2 of these positions. I'd like to be back in 2nd place ideally. I mean, 1st would be great, but he's getting further and further ahead, so I'm trying to think realistically here. But even 4th place isn't bad, starting out in, I believe it was 14th position I started out in. Just keep it in 4th. Alright, up in 3rd. Went a little far inside on that. Luckily I didn't get a penalty. Punch it through this corner and slow it down. Whoa, what just happened? Where did that car come from? Was that a lap car? It must have been a lap car. How do you get lapped already on this track? I know, I see you. You're trying to come inside there, but I am being defensive. I'm not just gonna give it to you, my friend. Not when the races are this short. I actually like the diff setup I have right now. It lets the back end slide out just a bit when you need it to, which kind of compensates for some of the understeering that this car does. Alright, that's my favorite section right there. I went way too far in on that corner. I knew I was going to get a penalty. That's alright, I'll try and wash that up at regular braking spots. I don't know what happens if I go through the, I hope going through the lap doesn't mess with this though. See, like, you can usually scrub off a lot of those brake penalties in regular corners. Scrubbed it away. And I might even stay ahead of that car if I'm real lucky. He bumped me a little bit, but that's okay. Oh, he went off track. You shouldn't have bumped me, dude. That wasn't even my fault. Like, I wasn't even doing anything to him at that point. I don't think I'll be catching up with second place, but I think I can pretty much count on... Maybe. As long as that other Nissan doesn't catch up, I can count on a third place finish. Which isn't bad, starting at 14th, up into third. I can live with that. Would have loved to have stayed up in second, though, because if I hadn't went off that track and lost second place, I was rounding in on first place. And there's a pretty good chance I could have come out of this in pole position, but nobody to blame but myself. That was fun. That was a fun little slide there. Don't get a penalty. And get it around this corner. Don't fishtail. Don't lose it. Oh man, did I just scrape off enough speed for this guy to catch up? Nope. Alright, I got it. We are good for a third place finish. Still on the podium, not on the pole. That was a pretty good race. I think I'm going to stick with this GTR for the next race, too. I should have done my daily workout goal now, so I should be getting a prize car or a gift car, whatever you want to call it. We'll see what it is. I hope it's the 4C. I've been wanting the Alfa Romeo 4C in the GT3 class, but haven't gotten it. So we'll have to see what I get here. Ooh, I have my fan on. That must be awfully loud. Give me 1 second. I'm going to turn that off. Sorry about that. I was not aware that that fan was on. Alright, let's see what the car is. What did I get today? Oh, Audi GT3 car, GR3 car. I'll have to try that out in one of the next GR3 races. See how it does on the ring. Alright, so we're going to stick with this GTR. And go on into this qualifying session and wait for the next race. Alright, so thinking if there's anything I want to adjust. Don't think so. I think I'm overall pretty happy with where the car's at. Actually, you know what I want to try? I just want to try something a little extreme here. Let's do that. And let's drop that down to a 3. And let's try that, just to see what happens. If it's way worse, I'm going to change it back. I know in some of the rear-wheel drive cars that don't have a front drivetrain, the heavy negative camber has really been helping them maintain grip in really high grip corners. So we'll see if it translates well to an all-wheel drive car. No, I don't think so. I'm going to give it a little bit more of a chance, but seems like I had way more grip with the negative camber down and the sway bar in the front stiff. And the reason I loosened the sway bar along with increasing the negative camber was because the sway bar will prevent the wheels from, or the suspension from moving in the way that you want it to. When you set negative camber, the tops of the tires are tilted in. When you go sharp around the corner, the suspension moves, the tires move and flex, and instead of the contact patch being tilted, it becomes flat with the surface. However, if you have your suspension really, really stiff and really hard sway bars with a lot of negative camber, there won't be enough movement in the suspension for the contact patch to become flat. So you need to start out with the contact patch more flat by running less negative camber. So generally, I won't run very stiff sway bar settings with high negative camber settings. So I'm thinking I'm going to go back to the other setting I had. I'm going to give this corner one more go. Yeah, no, I don't like it. I was able to hang 4th gear previously through that corner. Nope, changing it. Can already tell I really don't like that on this car. Usually front wheel, you know, cars that have our all-wheel drive that also have a front drivetrain, I don't like a lot of negative camber. For some reason it just doesn't work the same. So let's bring this back down. Let me go a little more crazy and go with just like 0.2 and see what that does. Wow, we got all of a sudden 8 people in here. How's it going, guys? So I'm just going to try that real quick. I'm guessing I'm going to go back to 0.5. Just do a quick blast like this, see what I think. So for you guys just joining in, we're about to go into the second GR4 race here. The last race, yep, I don't like this setting either. The last race I started out in 14th place, ended in 3rd, excuse me. So we'll see what happens in this race. Much more braking power, of course, with the negative camber reduced, but still not quite where I like it. It's actually not bad though. Now that I'm getting a little bit of a warmth into the tires. looks like we got about 3 minutes and 30 seconds left before starts matching us. Have a little bit better time than last time now. A little too slow that time. So I think I know what I'm gonna do. Way overshot that corner. And heavy brake. Alright, so let's go into the settings right quick. Let's go down here. Let's leave that here and leave that down. What do I have downforce at? Go just a hair more down with that's all the way down in the back. Yeah, I'm just gonna roll with this, see what happens. Not gonna worry about the setting too much. Whatever happens, happens. Curious to see what position they'll place me in this time. As I was saying in the last race, it seems like I've been seeing races or grid setups where slower times are up in the front. It's just all mixed up, whereas it used to go in order from whoever got the fastest time. Alright, come on. I've been thinking about mapping my sequential shifter to the paddle shifter and using that for some of the GR4 and GR3 cars just because I like a nice heavy sequential shifter better than paddle shifters, but I also like to be using in hand whatever the car in-game is using. So if the car has paddle shifters, I don't like to use a sequential shifter just because it's inconsistent, but none of the cars I've come across so far have sequential shifters, so if I want to use the sequential shifter with GT Sport, I'll have to do it with a paddle shift car, at least for now. Alright, matching is in progress. Let's see what happens. Hopefully I'll get a halfway decent position. I'd like to be in the first half of the grid, but I didn't get a very good qualifying time, so... But again, the qualifying time, it's been all mixed and jumbled up yesterday and today. It doesn't seem to go in accordance with the qualifying time. I don't know if that's just a mistake or what, but... Okay, so 8th place, dead center. And this time it looks like the numbers are all in order. Now let's see what happens when it goes to the next screen, because it's actually at the next screen that they were all mixing up. Again, and it mixed up, put me back in 14th. And look at that, the times are all screwy. I mean, we got a 53 in 3rd place, I'm in 51 in 14th. Makes absolutely no sense. And he's even got the same license class as me. Driver rating D, sportsmanship rating C, DC. I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and warm up a little bit. That way we're just not sitting here looking at a boring screen. I've got the force feedback cranked up on the wheel and I am ready to rip. It happened to you today too. Yeah, it's really weird. Like, why call it a qualifying session if you're just gonna mix up all the drivers? It happened to me in the last race. And usually I don't bother qualifying anyways, because I usually am just like, whatever, I'll start out towards the back. But then I actually, a few times I'm like, why don't I go ahead and qualify? And then it doesn't even matter. That's such a fun little S-corner to take back there. It's so easy to go just a little bit too fast, too, and not be able to make it. I like to kind of push it as close as I can each time. Got, what's the name here? Marty P. McFly. Oh, Marty McFly, like, Back to the Future. Pretty sure that was Marty McFly. Maybe I'm remembering that wrong. Oh, huh, that's interesting. So I'll see where I start out. That's really weird. People must be mad when it tells them they're going to be in first place and all of a sudden they start out like at the back of the pack. Yeah. That's what the beta's for, is seeking out bugs like that. So many GTRs. Usually in this class I drive the Hyundai Genesis, but I've been driving the GTRs lately. Ooh, split the castle doors there. Thank you for knocking him out of my... Oh, and then right back into me. That was karma. That was karma for being like, thank you for hitting that person. Karma getting right back at me. Alright, so we got some nice close quarters racing here. Oof. This is a fun car to drive on this track, because you got to work the steering, brake pedal, and gas pedal so much that, especially driving with like a wheel and pedals, it's a lot of fun. Where are you going, dude? What was that all about? Like, what good did that do you? None. I knew I was going to get a slowdown penalty, but that's okay. I'll bleed it off on the regular corners. Oh, wow. That was so dirty. Some people are just so dirty in this game, it's not even funny. I will take a look at your comments when I can read. Already halfway done, over halfway done with this race, so short. Oh, I'm going off, I know it. Oh well. Had a good little run there for a couple minutes. Came in a bit too hot. And now I was looking over to the left at my laptop and went off the track again. I got my comments on the laptop to my left, not on the screen, so every once in a while I'll try and glance over, but it's just too hard to read them while driving on this track. Alright, I got 2 laps. Maybe I can get ahead of, like, that Scirocco, I think that is. Is that a Scirocco? I'm not sure. Maybe not. Can't seem to make up any ground right now. Oh, I got the Corvette coming around me now, too. Alright, dude. Why would you bump me on the inside? You could have just went and stayed ahead of me. Yeah, fishtail away there, Corvette. How's your rear-wheel drive doing now, brah? Can't really talk. It's ahead of me, but I have a feeling I might get around it. Yep. Oh, you're gonna bump into me now, huh? Well, now I'm gonna just block you when you try and pass me. Yeah, how is it on the inside? Getting around me? Didn't think so. Alright, now I can read the comments. Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't really drive in any of the other cameras other than Cockpit. Yeah, I know, lots of GTRs. Like, I usually drive in the Hyundai Genesis, but I figured today I was going to give the GTR a try. I was driving the GTR when that was all I had a week or 2 ago, but I really like the Hyundai Genesis a lot. Yeah, a wheel is nice, but to be honest, I'm actually, I'm faster with a gamepad right now in this game, which is completely backwards to how it is typically for me. Typically I'm always faster with a wheel, but I think it has a lot to do with the fact that, especially on certain tracks, when you're driving down the road, the force feedback is shaking the wheel, and that's affecting your steering inputs. Whereas if you're driving with a gamepad, there is no force feedback to move the steering wheel, so there won't be those constant movements of steering input that are constantly being applied, you know, to the car. Usually, and again, I haven't gone back to the gamepad since the update a couple days ago, but typically I am faster with a wheel. But when I first started playing this, I found that I was actually faster with a gamepad, but I would never go back to a gamepad. I only used the gamepad for the first couple days before I set a wheel up. But like on PC and everything, I always use a wheel. I just can't go back. I just love using a wheel so much. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna stick with this GTR once again. Why not do all 3 races in the GTR? Yeah. Yeah, GT6 was similar. I have to say, since the last update they did on this game, the GR4 and GR3 cars feel so much better in terms of force feedback. They felt good before, but since that update, a few things have changed, and it's just so dialed in. The force feedback just feels so good. So, don't know if I want to play with any more settings this time. I was still understeering more than I would like to. Let me bring that down once again, and let's go with more dampening, a little less sway. Actually, I'm going to try with the sway bars on 3, and I might adjust those. 30, that's a bit aggressive, but let's bring that to that. Let's see what happens. Right now, it's kind of complicated, but I actually, you're not going to believe me unless you look back at my old videos and see how I do it, but I actually use a direct drive wheel. I'm using a direct drive Symbicute base setup with a MIG motor and Club Sport pedals and a Club Sport shifter and a USB steering wheel with buttons on it, like the actual rim. And it's really hard to explain how I do that. I have an old video, or not old, but a couple weeks old, called GT Sport plus direct drive wheel or something like that. You know, if you look back at my videos, you'll see it. But basically, I use this thing called Gimmicks, which allows you to use any controller and any force feedback device you want on the PS4. You'll get full force feedback support just like you would. The PlayStation thinks I'm on a G29. So according to the PlayStation, I'm using a G29 because the Gimmicks software and hardware fools it into thinking I'm using a G29. Oop, going off the track now, looking at the comments. So yeah, I have a T500 I've used with this game as well, but with the direct drive wheel, it's amazing. Way too much gas in that corner. Just wanted to see what would happen if you just kind of push it too hard. feel like I have a bit less grip in the corners than I did before, overall. Not necessarily in the front or rear. But see if I get used to it here. My qualifying time is down from before. Go, go, go. Let's get a better time than last time. Still not better than my qualifying time before. Screwed that corner up entirely. Forget that. Go make a little bit of adjustment. I have a regular PS4. Wired connection. Did you? Yeah, see, I didn't. I've played the game a lot before and after the update, but I just, I mess around with so many different cars in the game and so many different settings, and when I play, you know, I usually just kind of jump into the races. I don't do a lot of driving outside of there, so I just don't remember, you know, for a lot of the vehicles to be able to compare and say, okay, this one has more or less grip. Unless it's something I, you know, drive often, I kind of forget pretty much. Let's try that, and let me see something here. I'm gonna leave that down. And I don't want to have a different extension rate front to rear. So let's do that. Let's do that. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Oh, was that the end of it? I guess I don't have any more practice time. I'll have to warm up a little. Yeah, see, I don't even remember what most of my qualifying times are. I only remember from what I qualified right before the last race on this one. On games like iRacing and other games, you know, I'll pay attention and really try and be as clean and fast as I can. But in this game, because of the nature of all the other online racers, then there's a lot of just craziness. I just kind of jump in and have fun, figure it's something fun to stream and kind of talk while you're doing. So yeah. But iRacing, you know, you want to be super careful and really treat it like a career, you know? Not like a career, but like treat it with more respect, I should say. So it says I'm in 6th now and down to 10th. That's so funny. Let's go ahead and warm up a little bit. My new setup. Oh, Ghosted. Oh, you went ahead of me. DJ Subs on 1K! Such an intense name. DJ Subs on 1K. Get my tires warmed up a little bit here. terrible. Not terrible feeling so far, this, the slight alterations I made to the suspension. Still, I mean, I've complained about this always with this car, but still too understeery for me. I know understeery is not a word, but it just has too much of a tendency to understeer, and I know it's all-wheel drive, but no matter what I do with the diff and suspension settings, I just can't tune out the understeer to where I get enough front-end grip, you know, that to what I am comfortable with anyways. Oh, that guy bumped me. It kind of helped me, though, until now. Kind of helped me at first to go from inside on the left-hander, inside on the right-hander with two different cars. DJ subs on 1K! I'm sorry, I just can't get over this guy's name. Yes, it absolutely is. I just recently went out to this place called Crimson Simulation. I live in Connecticut, and that place is about, oh, I don't know, 40 minutes away from me in Norwalk, Connecticut. And they have, like, I think there was like 8 simulators there. So I got to try a bunch of different rigs, all on iRacing, all with full D-Box motion. It was amazing. Here we go. Already got everybody bumping each other. Bump and grind, bump and grind. Yeah, just keep jamming me to the right. How is that helping you? What place am I in now? Second for a second at least. We'll see how long this lasts. Every time I get ahead, it doesn't last. Although, got a pretty nice cushion of air between us right now, so maybe this will be my time to shine. Or my time to slime, one or the other. Yep, no, I'm about to get past. Maybe not. Didn't think I kept enough speed through that corner. Yeah, rear brake bias. I forgot about that. That does help in this car. I do that in front wheel drive cars too. I can't be looking. The only thing I don't like to do is give up my stopping power. I'm gonna start with 1. Oh, I gotta go inside. I cannot believe I didn't get a speed penalty right there. Oh, that does seem a bit better so far. Oh, not so much stopping power though. It's like a trade-off. Either stop well or steer well. Same thing with alignment setups. Either stop, you know, or either turn well or stop and accelerate well. It's either straight line or corners. Certain corners on this Indy track I take well, like I do well through the S's, but then that big corner I just went through, the final corner after the S's, I don't do so well on. And this corner I always screw up too. Enough so that I'm about to lose my position to Electron for You. I've raced him before. He's pretty good. Oh, sorry dude, I don't want to hit him. Thank God I didn't hit him. I would have felt bad. When you're up in the front like this, you know, I don't want to, like, mess up people's day. like come on the... Oh, like that. That's exactly what I don't want to do. Another thing I don't like about this game is you never know when you're gonna ghost and when you're not gonna ghost. It's like you literally have no way of knowing. Sometimes you ghost, sometimes the game's just like, nah, I don't really feel like ghosting today, you're just gonna hit this car. Alright, I have a little tiny cushion between us, a little bit. Oof, I'm about to be on the last lap. Gotta get my game face on here. I fudged up. Fudged up already. Alright, Seth. You can do it! Just stop for the corners, turn the corners, and get on the gas in time. Alright, something happened back there. I think they got into a bit of shenanigans, so I got an okay gap. Imagine if the guy in first place just goes off the track on like the last corner. It won't happen, but he's got enough of a gap that there's no pressure on him. Go, 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 go. Alright. Looks like I got second place in the bag. Not terrible for the final GT4 GR4 race of the night. Your guess is as good as mine as to when this is coming out. I have no idea. I have no idea. And yeah, to sign up, you could go to the Gran Turismo page as well. They started a new sign up recently for the next phase, so it seems like they just pick people at random, though. Like, it seems like they look at the sign up and they're like, okay, well, he's got yes, I do know it's within 27, you're correct. But it seems like they pick people by looking and be like, oh, okay, does this count have, like, history in GT6 or GT5? Yes, it does. Okay, grab it. Or, you know, like, they just kind of... It doesn't look like they really look into it too much, because I have a lot of friends who have signed up but didn't get in. So, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was the final GR4 race of the night. If this was the final GR4 race, what did I do? Yeah, I did 3. I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream, and I will then I'll be streaming at least one of the GR3 races. Sometimes I do all 3, sometimes I do 1 or 2. So I'll be doing at least one, so keep an eye out in the next few minutes for a race at Nordschleife. And not sure what car I'll be driving there, but if you watch, you'll see when you get there. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and thank you very much. Thank you for joining. I appreciate the compliment, definitely. And yes, the goal is to unlock... Hey, do you know, as beta testers, if we get the game for free when it comes out, or do we still have to buy it? Yeah, I don't know either. Hopefully they just give it to us, but I highly doubt it. But anyways, like I said, I'll be streaming the Nordschleife race shortly, so maybe I'll see you guys there, and thanks for watching.